racing for Floyd Mayweather and his relatively new NASCAR team?
It's awesome to be, teamed up with Floyd, and especially like reading his quote today in the press release was really cool. I thought
Yeah.
that was like kind of special to see his words, like that like I might represent a fighter, like I've got that fight in me type thing. I like that. I like that a lot. Coming from like the greatest of all time, essentially. So one of the
Not
greatest of all
bad.
time. So that was cool. And honestly, we know it's a monumental challenge in front of us. Like it's going to be hard. There's a
Yeah.
lot of really really good teams that are trying to make this race, and we're a small team still. So
Yeah.
we have a challenge in front of us. But honestly, if we make it, there's a huge upside. If we don't, there's not a lot of downside because it's kind of we know it's going to be a challenge, and we know we have other cup races later in the
Right.
year. So I'm just excited to be given a chance at it and see what happens.
After everything you've accomplished throughout your racing career, what would racing for Floyd, making the Daytona 500, what would that mean to you, and how big of an accomplishment would that be?
Well, for me as an IndyCar driver primarily, I mean, there's only been like I think 25 or 26 drivers who have ever done both the Daytona
Right.
500 and the Indy 500. So to be a part of that group would be really really cool. And obviously I have a focus on the IndyCar series. I love everything that IndyCar's got going
Yeah.
on right now for us as well. But I love meshing both worlds. Like I love racing. I'm a race fan first,
Yeah.
and so being able to try to do this Daytona 500 for Floyd, for the team, for our sponsor, BitNile.com. BitNile.com are really the only reason that this is all happening for me. And they've been so supportive of me. And there's a lot of really cool stuff going on with that whole group. So all of it is the coolest thing ever. And I never really thought in my career I would be able to say that we'd have a chance to qualify for the Daytona 500. So I'm excited.
How do you, because it is very different, and maybe a novice like myself, you say, okay, a car is a car, but obviously that's not true. And to go from open wheel to stock car, how do you prepare for that, Connor?
Honestly, it's really tough. And in this new era of motor racing, there's no practice for the Daytona 500. Previously, like before COVID, there was, and schedules kind of changed afterwards, and they haven't got back to the practice. For some reason, the practice isn't happening this year, which I still don't really understand. But yeah, it's definitely a challenge. It's not like driving one road car compared to another. Most road cars kind of drive the same.
Right.
It's a completely different experience, and the qualifying part might not be as difficult, but it's getting in the race, and qualifying is just flat out single car.
Yeah.
We'll just do what we got to do, but in the race when there's a bunch of other cars around, the NASCAR Cup cars work differently than the Indy cars. We have a lot more downforce. We're doing a little bit more top speed. But these cars move around a lot. It's a different stiffness level. There's a different aerodynamic profile. The cars might have a little more yaw, like they drive a little bit more at an angle. So there's a lot that is going to be learning on the fly for me. So that's going to be challenging. But there's a lot of like Travis Pastrana is also doing it, who's a great friend of
That's
mine,
so
and we
cool.
we got into a truck race together a couple years ago for fun at like to try to do it, and then now we're racing the Daytona 500. We're trying to qualify, so that'll
Right.
be also hysterical at the same time.
And this has got to be good for not just NASCAR, but for racing as a whole, right? I mean, to see you crossing over, right, like you said, Travis, and as popular as he is. I mean, this it feels like racing is becoming more and more popular, especially amongst just casual sports fans out there.
Well, I love to hear you say that, honestly, because we hope that it is also getting more
Yeah.
popular. You have, me and Travis coming to try to do the Daytona 500. We've got Kyle Larson coming to do the Indy 500 next
Yeah.
year. We've had Formula One drivers come to do the Indy 500. There's a lot of crossover. There's a lot of stuff that hopefully all of the motorsport fans can enjoy. Like that's what we're like.
Yeah.
We love doing this, and if more and more people are exposed to it and appreciate it, that helps us. That gives us more job opportunities. That gives us more opportunities to provide some entertainment for the incredible racing fan base. So I hope everyone that watches NASCAR might give IndyCar a shot after
Yeah.
this, or vice versa. People, the IndyCar fans, are going to be watching NASCAR races because of this
Yeah.
kind of crossover. So we want to see more and more people watching it all and exposed to it all, whether it's NASCAR, IndyCar, or F1.
Two quick ones for you, Connor. Do you talk to any of those guys, any of the 25 or 26 guys who have done both, and do you get any advice from them?
Well, honestly, Jimmy Johnson's the guy who I've gone to for advice immediately because Well, he's also trying to qualify for the Daytona 500
Right.
again, but he's got a little bit more experience than I
Yeah,
do.
right.
I talked to him over the weekend. I said, "Is this an awkward time to tell you I'm also trying to qualify for the Daytona 500?" And he had a good laugh over that. So it's cool to see that. There are a lot of other, like Danica Patrick, someone who has done both, which is really cool. And there's a lot of people that I would like to get advice from, but it's so hard to take in. Well, it's easy to take in too much information. I can't possibly know more than what I know right now until I actually get on the track and feel it. So I'll take in everything I can get. I'll take in all the advice possible, but until I actually get out there and feel it through the seat of my pants, that's what'll really start affecting how we go forward.
Last one. Have you had a chance to like hang out, party with Floyd Mayweather yet?
No, not yet, but I really hope to get that chance. I feel like, if we were to make the race and then somehow win the Daytona 500,
oh wow,
I feel like we would have to do something together. We would have to have some sort of night in Vegas.
yes.
I would love to hang out with Floyd. I feel like we would get along. He FaceTimed me at the last NASCAR Cup race that I did, and it was awesome to get to chat with him a little bit. So, who knows? Hopefully we can party together.